What up, guys? We're back here, back here, back here. Another week, man. Another week has gone. This is a weekly occurrence on the sister side. This is the Half of Football Hot's sister side. This is Half Up Soft, man. This YouTube channel just represents more low key, more chilled out. Because look, we can't talk about football 24/7. Okay. So this is just a way for us to, relax, chill out, talk about stuff that may be concerning you, talk about films, movies, TV shows, cartoons, religion, politics, anything on your mind, anything that has been happening this week and so forth. We're here to talk about it, man. So what happened this week, man? DMX. That's a bad loss. I wanted to do a video on it. I think I want to do a separate video on it just to sort of talk about DMX's impact on rap. That's a big loss. And the thing about DMX was he was always one of those guys who you felt that, yeah, man, something like this would happen. But then when you saw him on Drink Champs, he was looking fine. Because I was talking to my sister about it yesterday, and we're both saying that, like, he actually looks all right on Drink Champs, but my sister was saying that, oh, his speech seemed a little bit blood and so forth. But I was like, well, compared to what he looked like previously, he was all right, So, but that's unfortunate, man. What has happened to him, man? It's like, because, and also he's got a new album coming out. Coming out. So, it would have been cool to see him with that album, man. But it is what it is. It's a massive loss for rap, and he's definitely one of the legends. He's one of the legends of rap, like, it's just funny, like this comedian said that, oh, DMX wasn't that great lyrically, but he definitely was a legend. I was like, he wasn't great lyrically. What are you on about? Go to rapgenius.com and read the lyrics of Who We Be. If that isn't great writing, I don't know what is. Because me and Danny T, were both talking about this, and then we're saying that lyrics isn't like, that's not great lyrics. That's just great lyrics is writing, poetry. Tupac was one of the greatest rap writers there ever was. Because when you just read his lyrics, that is what you call great writing, because it's storytelling. It's not, oh, how many complicated words can I use? It's great storytelling. So that was it, man. So, I mean, you had the whole DMX thing. I think we've sort of talked about this before, vaccine passports, man. I think they still want to try and bring in these vaccine passports up in this piece, man, which is, a bit wild, man. And I don't know whether you guys want to talk about it. The Commonwealth, the UK Commonwealth. Like, I'll tell this, I say this to people, that white people, man, are some smart people. I don't care what anyone says. You can say this and that and so forth. I don't give a damn whether you're pro this or pro that. White people are some very cunning people. So, guys, what do you say, man? Send in your questions about anything, man. Let's talk, man. I've got some cookies here to help me buy this time. I've got some cookies. I've got Jack Daniels that I'm saving in case something happens. But look, man, this is your platform, man. So tell me what iguana, man. That's not big news, my dear friend. That's not big news. So I don't know what you mean by that. He's an elderly guy that died. I mean, like, again, condolences to his family, condolences to his children and so forth. But for me, it's his death isn't a bigger deal than the millions that have died from COVID or so forth. So I don't know how that is news, though. So volcano, what the heck? Wait, you live near a volcano? Damn, that's wild, man. Wait, do you actually live near a volcano? You see, for me, I don't want to go into spoiler territory here, because I want to ensure that, because some people may not have seen the latest episode. So I'll try and stay away from a spoiler territory there for people who have not seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I think John Walker is a very, very interesting character. And I think that they're taking the Captain America concept into very interesting. They're taking it into a very interesting territory. Shout out to Wyatt Russell, who plays John Walker, son of the great Kurt Russell. But what they're doing with for my thing that it's Disney, so I don't know how far they can take it. I just realized it's only 6 episodes, so there are only 2 episodes left. So it's like it has to end now. But yeah, like what they're doing with John Walker is interesting. Like there is a way that they can end this that could be really interesting. Again, I don't want to give spoilers away, but I think that if they have because basically just watching my review on it that I put up, and then my spoiler review, if they handle this thing in the right way, I think they could make this an amazing season. But what is holding back this stuff is freaking Disney, the freaking mouse. That freaking mouse is always holding things back, man. Thoughts on the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movies? Jurassic Park 1 was amazing. An absolutely amazing, incredible film. Lost World was all right. And then I stopped after that. I mean, I didn't bother with Jurassic Park 3. And Jurassic World is still on Netflix. I think it's just not been my type of franchise. I think that kind of film was a one and done. Because the whole point of the film was the magic of seeing those dinosaurs for the first time. And you can't lose that magic. And also, without Spielberg, it's not this. Like, Spielberg is the real reason why those films pop off. If you're bringing in what's Colin Trevorrow or freaking what's the name, Chris Pratt, I'm not going to sit down and watch a 2-hour dinosaur movie starring a dude called Chris Pratt, who looks like Chris Pratt. That ain't happening. So for me, Jurassic Park was one and done, man. No need for any sequels. Do you think Michael Jackson is the music GOAT? I would say he's the performance GOAT. In terms of musical performance, I'd say he's the musical performance GOAT. And he's definitely one of the most popular music artists that's ever lived. But in terms of performance, I don't think there's been a better musical performer than Michael Jackson. Never. But when you just say music GOAT, I mean, Prince can sing, can dance, can play guitar. I think he can play bass. And I also think he can play the piano as well. So musically speaking, Prince is more talented than Michael Jackson. Like, Michael Jackson is a great singer and an incredible dancer, an amazing performer. But Prince can play several musical instruments. He can dance and he can sing. And he's also a very good performer as well. So the music GOAT is tough. That's a tough one. But you can have an argument for Prince. In terms of just your musical talent and all the different things you can do and how well you can do them, Prince is a good shout. Also, remember, Prince, he writes his songs as well, because Michael Jackson didn't write all of his songs. So Michael Jackson partnered with people writing his songs. So Prince writes his own songs. He pretty much plays most of the instruments. He sings, performs. Prince was different, man. But there was not a performer better than Michael Jackson. There is, in terms of you put him on stage, give him a mic, nobody could capture the imagination of a crowd like Michael Jackson. When you just look at some of his live shows, they were otherworldly. Because I remember where I was in Nigeria watching him do the moonwalk for the first time, like Motown. It was like looking at a superhero. And then there I was, young kid, jumping up on my chair, grabbing my balls, going woo. So yeah, man. But music GOAT, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, man. All right, what are you guys saying, man? Does I like this, man? Do you think we'll ever see a longer run than that of Drake? Drake has been consistently at the top since 2009. Love or hate his music, I don't think we'll ever see a run like Drake, Because let's be real. So Michael Jackson's run, you look at Off the Wall, which was the late 70s, Thriller, because Michael Jackson is probably the closest thing to, which is why I say, when I say Drake is a modern day Michael Jackson, by no means, Drake doesn't sniff the musical talents of Michael Jackson, doesn't sniff. But in terms of being relevant for such a long time, Drake is the closest thing, because since '09, pretty much every single or album he's brought out has either been number one or has shaped culture. Like when you see what's like when Michael Jackson was popping off, whatever is cool, whatever the DJ is spinning, you have to be spinning something Michael Jackson in the club when Michael Jackson was around. I look at Drake, you can't, as a DJ, you can't have a set and not have a Drake song. It's impossible. And that has been the case since '09, where Drake has had a song or an album that has shaped culture for so long. Like, look at that, the Drake meme, the whole "call me" thing, like that, where he goes like this and then goes like that. I mean, and this is the thing about Drake. When I first saw Drake, I hated him. I was like, look, who is this light-skinned, cheesy, smarmy loser? I was like, these guys are like, ah. And then I just said, look, I'll just listen. And I think the track of it that I liked was "Hold On While Coming Home" from I can't remember the album where he's like facing to the side. I was like, okay, this is a cool one. But then I listened to "Thank Me Later." I was like, for me, I can't. That's a quality album. So good that I actually bought it on CD, because CD has better sound. And the thing about Drake is the music just hits. He isn't the greatest singer. He isn't the greatest rapper. Like, he's a pretty good rapper. He isn't the greatest rapper. What, did he write all his lyrics? He's the greatest singer. But the music just hits. He just knows how to hit the right notes. And that's why you use the example of Red Hot Chili Peppers. Now, John Frusciante, amazing guitarist. Flea, superb bassist. Chad Smith, amazing drummer. Anthony Kiedis isn't the greatest singer. He isn't. But he's got such an amazing personality, and he just hits the right notes and just knows how to make a right song, that even if he's not the greatest singer, the song still hits, you know? And when he just combines the rap with the singing, the songs just hit. So I think for Drake, man, you love him or hate him, it's a run. I've never seen a run like that where you've, like, when he brings out his next album, it's going to be hits. And even the previous single that he brought with, is it Lil Duck or something? That's a good track. The stuff sounds good. So, yeah, I don't think we'll ever see a run like Drake, man. I doubt it. See, we can't compare MJ to Drake. Different. No. As I said, no. If you had to, society changes. Like, Michael Jackson was a star since he was about 10 years old. So since he was about 10, 11 years old, this guy was a performer and a star, and the leading the lead dude and the face of an amazing band, Jackson 5. So, and also he came up in the 60s, civil rights and so forth. So I remember, and Michael Jackson, he was black. So this was when he was black. Drake, you're mixed race, your mother's Jewish, you're living in a world that is post civil rights, post Rodney King. It's a whole different era. Hip hop is now huge. Like, when MJ was coming up, hip hop wasn't even a thought. When Thriller and Bad came out, hip hop was in its early infancy. But right now, hip hop is the number one genre in the world. So it is different. Like, we can. That's why, because even me and my bros were saying that we can never have another Michael Jackson. It's impossible, because Michael Jackson came to be through racism, because being a black guy or a black band back in the 60s and 70s, there was a certain kind of work ethic you had. a certain psychology I had, and certain things you based off songwriting, and it was just different, you know. So like there can never be a Michael Jackson. There can be another Drake, but there can never be another Michael Jackson, man. Lead level, man. This is a non-football thing, man. Level is a non-football thing. How many languages can you speak? Obviously English, a bit of French. Je parle un petit peu français. For small Spanish, habla muy pequeño español. I didn't know about a few words in Japanese like konnichiwa, sumimase, daijoubu, okasa, otasa. Pidgin, obviously English pidgin. A few words in Yoruba, ekara, ekaso, ekrole, eloni. So I would say that I can sort of get by in French, and my Spanish is a bit. So maybe about 3 languages, you know. But I'll say I'm fluent in Pidgin, English, basic French, a bit basic Spanish, and a few words in the others, man. So, but I want to brush up on some other languages as well, man, for sure. What do you think of Signal Down? Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. We're gonna do it. Wake up. We're gonna do it. Interesting band. What's it called? It's Serge Takar and like Armenian. Because I remember when that single came out, I was like, "Oh, these guys are different." I mean, I appreciate their artistry, you know, but I was more of a, if you're talking rock, I was more of like a Soundgarden, basically Rage Against the Machine, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, and a few tracks from Metallica. But System of Down, like, you know, they made some good tracks, you know, and they used to combine with Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, man. But Rage, those are my guys, man. Rage are my guys, man. Ben Affleck is the greatest Batman while wearing the suit. You're wrong. That's completely wrong and false. No, look, let me because now there's this hashtag that's going around about make Batfleck, you know, make Batfleck, like let Ben Affleck be the new Batman. Give me a freaking break. Ben Affleck is a trash actor. Good director, pretty good writer. He's a horrible actor. His Batman benefits off a great suit, great superb suit, and great directing based off how Snyder made him look in the fighting. You just saying, "My name is Batman." It's all because you have a voice modulator that makes you sound deep. It doesn't know. The best Batman is and always will be Michael Keaton. Bale could have been, but he was garbage and trash in Dark Knight and Rises. But Michael Keaton is still number one, man. Keaton is still number one, man. He is still the 100% definitive Batman. Ben Affleck is no, the suit looks cool, but as an actor, the guy's garbage. Guy's straight garbage, man. What do you think of Omar Epps as an actor? You see, if we're tiering actors, Omar Epps would be upper tier 3. He'd be upper tier 3, where he's decent. He's decent. He'd be flirting with tier 3 on upper tier 3. He'd be flirting between those two. So he's sort of almost between tier 3 and upper tier 3. But he's really good, but he's not the greatest. Like Omar Epps, he's the kind of guy where him being the lead of your film doesn't work. Being the main supporting, no. But part of an ensemble playing a role, he'd be high. So he's like a very good serviceable actor. And like, what's it called? He made this film recently, man, and this film was wild, bro. There's a film that he made, man, and that film was wild, man. Favorite NBA team? Wow, it's interesting that you answered that, my dear. Because maybe you've not seen me wear this. Bada boom. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, man. When I started watching the NBA, he was my favorite player. You know, he was my favorite player, man. Your boy Penny Hardaway, man. So I know they're not great, but Magic, man. You know, that was the first player that I liked to be, beyond the Jordan. Even when Jordan was there, I was like, no. Hardaway, Magic, those are my guys. You know, I read an article about him and him being interviewed, and I just like, no, I just liked him, what he said, his character, and then I said, you know what, Magic are my guys, man. So that's my thing, man. What the heck? Clooney, are you sick? Oh wow. Actually, yeah, I want to bring back movie watching. I want to bring about movie watching. I'll probably announce it. It's just that I've been so busy. It's been hard to organize something, but we need to bring back movie watching. Because I've got a few interesting films for us to watch. Because there's this film that I want us to watch called Unthinkable, starring Samuel L. Jackson. Really good film. Really good film. So that will be our next watch along. Last movie I saw in the cinema was Tenet. You know, no, I didn't go to Tenet. Actually, wait, was it? Did I go to cinema recently? I think yeah, it was Tenet. Yeah, well, yeah, it was Tenet. Because I had to support Denzel Son. I wasn't going there for Nolan. I had to go there to support Denzel Son. Like I have missed the cinema, man, because like the main film I wanted to watch was Dune. And you can't. I've got a pretty good surround system, and my THX surround system is high. It's high, man. I really like it, man. But as cool as it would be watching Dune at home, I've got to watch Dune in the cinema. Massive screen, preferably IMAX. I've got to watch it there. So hopefully, come the end of this year, things have opened up and so forth. And but then my thing is that maybe guys will start saying, you will only be allowed in the cinema if you have the freaking vaccine passport, man. I'm like, fuck. But if that's what it takes, man, I mean, shit, what can I do, man? Voting, I'm not answering that, bro. It's not happening. The heck? What the heck? Wait. Is it wrong to appreciate a woman for her attractiveness? No, it's not wrong. But then I think people say I don't objectify, but here's the thing: women objectify men, men objectify women. Trust me, women spend a lot of time talking about, oh my gosh, he's hot, he's cool, he's that, oh no, he's too short. Oh, he's so as animals and so forth, animalistic attraction is the core to human nature and human beings. And let's keep it real, man. What's generally attracts us to someone is what they look like. There are people who you can be friends with a woman, but you're not attracted to them. They're great to hang out with, great personality you combine, but no, this is just a friend. I'm not attracted to them because I think an attraction, it has to be a combination of personality and looks. See, let's keep it a stack. It has to be a personality and looks, man. So it has to be a combination of the two, man. That's the key thing. Did you ever have a bad boss that you worked for? No. I mean, the bosses I had, just thinking back to my jobs I had, there was a dude who, in one of my jobs, was. This thing about this dude. It's so funny because one of my friends that I always talk to on WhatsApp, we were both at the same job because this is when I was at telemarketing. So Telematic, we used to have sort of different bosses. So we would have like a guy, like a certain boss based off on different shifts. So it would always be a different boss. And again, I don't want to say his name, but there was this guy, Black, who, if you spoke to this guy off work, he is the funniest dude, most hilarious dude, and he is great to have a drink with. Hilarious dude. But when we're on shift, this dude used to be a hard ass, man. He used to be just so flipping harsh. I'm like, man, chill out. Like, if you were late at all, you couldn't speak to anybody if you're caught speaking and everything. And this guy would just super harsh. I'm like, bro, like, one moment you're nice, you're laughing, hilarious. Another moment, this guy was just super harsh. Like, what? So yeah, I mean, that was probably the closest thing to, I say, a bad boss that I had. Because there was another boss that I had who was firm, and I think that's almost the best balance for a boss you have, who he's firm but fair, firm but fair, But that's what I mean. Like, yeah, like, I mean, having a crappy boss sucks. It can suck, especially if you're doing like a 9 to 5 and the boss is like a dick. It's like, oh man, like it's harsh, because when I was doing sales and stuff, my boss was all right. He was all right. I said he was firm but fair. So obviously he wanted you to come in on time, do the work well, and so forth. If you fucked up, he'd tell you that you fucked up and everything. So, but and even it's funny because I even tried, sort of sent him a message to see how his business is doing, because I worked there like, I think, about 4 or 5 years ago. So I was only for 1 year, because sales, man, sales in my thing, man. Sales in my thing. Telemarketing, basically, whenever you receive those calls from people who want to try and get you to buy stuff, that's those dudes. So basically, where a guy says, "Oh, hello, man, this is market research. We just wanted to ask you a few questions about blah 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 blah." So that's what it is. So basically, we just had to pick up the phone and conduct interviews. So like, a company would say, "Oh, we're doing market research on these farming tools." So we then have to call all of these farmers and try to get them to complete an interview for this market research that these guys have paid for. So very, 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 very tough, man. It's crazy, man. Favorite wrestler of all time. Mine was CM Punk. Favorite wrestler of all time is, it used to be Hulk Hogan before I found out that he was racist. So The Rock has to be The Rock. Like, just him being black, his finishing move, how entertaining he was in the ring, how entertaining he was out of the ring, his personality. I mean, he changed the face of wrestling. Like, there was wrestling before The Rock and after The Rock. Just like there was wrestling before Hogan and after Hogan, there was wrestling before The Rock and after Rock. That The Rock was, for me, I feel The Rock was the most impactful wrestler in history, and he is still benefiting off his popularity in wrestling. Because I think there's not been a more popular wrestler than The Rock. There's not been. That's why he's the biggest actor in the world, because of how popular he is. Can we have a manga series? Also, big up to you. What do you mean? Oh, thank you for the dub, Chains. Thank you for the dub. What do you mean by a manga series? Well, one second. Speaking of manga. We're back. We're back, bro. Back in the game, man. Back in the game. Why is this upside down? Sorry. Back in the game. So what's this? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm back, man. That Naruto vibe, man. Back that Naruto vibe. Actually, because I was even thinking, to do a One Punch Man season one watch along, man, because they have season one on Netflix, man. And I actually want to watch that again. So maybe like one night when there's no football or anything, man. Um, um, hang, have like a One Punch Man season one watch along, man. That'll be cool, man. Um, oh, bro, same, but that wasn't my worst. The worst job. The worst job that I ever did was street fundraising. You see, the phone thing that it's just annoying. You just but I met great people. Like the people I met at telemarketing with, because we just used to crack jokes, talk about football, crack jokes, and that. So it was cool. The job sucked, but the people were really cool. But my thing about it was a street fundraiser. I had to, in the winter and cold, stop people on the streets and um, get them to sort of raise money for like snow, because we're raising money for snow leopards. So I was like, oh, please, do you want to raise some money for snow leopards and so forth? That was the toughest one, man. That was the freaking toughest one, man, for sure. Um, uh, well, no, Snoop Dogg is one of the greatest rappers of all time, but let's be real, has no ever made a good album since Doggy Style? True. I mean, to be honest, probably not. But here's the thing, though: has 50 Cent ever made a good album since Get Rich or Die Trying? Sometimes all they need is just one amazing album. And the thing about it was that album is such a classic. It is arguably it is one of the greatest rap albums of all time. One of the most impactful albums of all time. That's all you need, you know. So there may be guys who have like 4 or 5 quality albums, but none of those albums are as good as just that one album. All you need is just that one album to make a name. So um that's the thing, man. You see, consider really man. Here's my thing. I'm a purist. I'm a purist. Just having this collection and stuff in my hand. 'Cause look, I'm old school. I'm old school. I need to have the actual thing, you know. So, which is why for me, like, because I've been even collecting Spawn single issues, but there's just something about having that physical thing and just having that set that it's not the same on the mobile app, man. It's not the same. See, now, like, what I can't do this for all stuff, man. So maybe like people say, "Oh, read Berserk." See, Berserk is something I'll probably just read online because I got the first one, but I'll read the other stuff online. But I think I've gotten so into this whole Naruto thing now, and I'm just gotten so much just into getting the sets. I'm like, let me get this 3-in-1 sets, man. So I've been into it, man. So but you know, you can't replace having that physical thing, man. Yeah, what up? What up, 87, man? What's a popular now? It was used, I believe, in Kung Fu Panda. And I thought, but I learned that it was actually a Nigerian proverb. I think they said something, it's something to do with time. Let me even see what I can get it about the past and present. Wait, past, Nigerian proverb. Yeah, it's something about them saying that the present is special because that's why they call it a present, man. Okay, but here are a few, man. I'll give you a few. You can't use your hand to force the sun to set. You know who you love, but you can't know who loves you. Now that's a key one. You know who you love, but you can't know who loves you. And what the child says, he has heard at home. Now that's a big one. So that's why racism exists. um, Joshua versus Fury. I say Fury wins. I want Joshua to win. I'd love Anthony Joshua to win, but I say Fury wins. I think Joshua has to knock him out. Fury, I think, can outbox Joshua, and I think Fury would win on points. Fury would win on points, man. So, yeah, Joshua, I don't think so, bro. So for me, Fury, you always have to go with the better boxer, man. You always have to go with the better boxer, man. Is The Last Dance the greatest sports documentary? See, I've not watched too many sports documentaries, but it will be difficult for there to be many that are better than The Last Dance. Because the thing about The Last Dance was, you can't ignore the fact that it's one of the greatest sports people of all time, which is Jordan. Greatest sports, one of the greatest sports athletes of all time. But my thing was how it was made. Like the way it was made and the way that they told the story. That it wasn't in like a regular normal timeline and they went back and forth. So how it was edited, how it was put together was in a very interesting way. And the way that they told the story of, because here's the thing, it wasn't a Michael Jordan documentary. They just used that to sell it. It was a Chicago Bulls documentary of where of how they were conceived and then how they won those 6 rings. So it was really of that team. So how they told Pippen's story, how they told Rodman's story, how they told Steve Kerr's story, and of course Jordan's story and everything with his dad, him, the flu game and so forth. I was like, no. It was compelling. But to properly answer that question, I need to watch more sports documentaries, because I watch more like political stuff. I watch it from political stuff. You see, like I was really looking forward to the Maradona documentary, and I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan. I wanted it to be better. It wasn't as good as I thought it was. It was still good, but I wanted it to be better, man. Thoughts on Sasha Banks? WrestleMania was crazy. Thank you for the dub, Brian. Thank you for the dub. Sasha Banks. You see, here's the thing here. I have tuned out of wrestling for a long time. Bianca Belair defeats Sasha Banks to capture the SmackDown Women's Championship. Okay, I'm gonna be very real here with you, Brian. I'm gonna be super real here. As I said before, I was a massive wrestling fan. Huge. Like, I wanted to be a wrestler. And I used to watch every Royal Rumble, every WrestleMania. I used to watch those. The Royal Rumble in January, WrestleMania in March, April. But I tuned out. And when I look at wrestling now, I'm happy that it's still successful and people still like it. But the biggest stars in wrestling right now are the women. So Sasha Banks, Ric Flair's daughter, and so forth, which is cool. But why I liked it back in the 90s and early 2000s isn't what it is now. Like, we look at the Hogan era, look at the Attitude era with The Rock, Stone Cold, and so forth, Mankind. There was something about that, like, this is what it was. Or the days of WCW. Like, WCW could have had the potential to be freaking amazing. So that was the kind of wrestling I like, that it had a bit of edge to it. And what makes wrestling work are the characters. The characters and the personalities. The characters and the personalities in wrestling now, I don't ride with now. But as I say again, they say Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks make history as the first Black woman to duke it out in wrestling. So look, wrestling has changed. Wrestling has changed, man. It's different, man. So that was the main Bianca Belair. But see, it just shows you how the strides that they're taking. The notion of 2 women being part of a main event on WrestleMania would have been unheard of in the 90s. But it just showed you that the strides that have been made were in 2021 right now. The women are the biggest stars, and now have 2 women who are now form part of the main event in WrestleMania. And wrestling's popularity is still high. That's what you have to admire, that guys like me may have tapped out. So you have to give credit to Vince McMahon that he's still been able to repackage the product for today's society. And the young kids and so forth are still into it. So that just shows you the brilliance of Vince McMahon. I hate him all he wants and so forth. The fact that that wrestling is still one of the most popular entertainment things globally. Forget America, globally, bro. You've got to tip your hats to Vince McMahon, man. That's just freaking amazing, man. Um, ooh, where is it? So, do you think Benoit's death ruined WWF? I always call it WWF. I don't know what WWF. No, no. What ruined? Well, see, it isn't ruined. Like, see, I can only talk personally. It isn't ruined because it's still popular. So for me, what took me out of it was there just weren't enough personalities. Like the roster and the talents weren't as interesting as the guys that came before. Like when you have like guys like The Rock, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Jake the Snake, Mankind, Undertaker, Big Boss Man. When you just have all of these guys, Macho Man, they brought such amazing personalities. I think that was lost. So people were not coming in with things that were interesting. Like John Cena, yeah, he's cool and so forth, but he wasn't as interesting as The Rock or Stone Cold or Mankind. So it was the personalities that weren't really there, man. So, have you ever had a deja vu moment? Lots of times, you know. And whenever I have a deja vu, it's like shit. Is there something happening with the world or something? Is the world fucking up or something? Because there are times when I'm like, wait a minute, that exact same thing happened in that exact same way, and I reacted in this exact same way. So I was like, it just so I paused for like a minute. I'm like, this is weird because 99% of the time you're creating new memories. I'm like, okay, this is new. But for that 0.1%, you're like, oh, this has happened before. And I felt this way before. So it almost feels as if, is it that we're like in a program and the program glitches when it just repeats something that has already happened before? So maybe we're being watched, man. Maybe Big Brother is watching us, man. Maybe Big Brother is watching us, man. Man, this guy wants me to do a reaction to Man United against Spurs. Man against Spurs. Do James Harden to the Nets win the NBA? And are they scared of LeBron for stacking the team? LeBron stacked his own team. So this all began with LeBron. When he moved to the Heat with Chris Bosh to join Dwayne Wade, he started the whole thing of stacking teams. The Brooklyn Nets look terrifying. It was bad enough that they had Kyrie and Durant. You now want to now add James Harden to it. And as trash as James Harden is in postseason, because James Harden is a regular season merchant who is garbage and chokes in the playoffs. But even with his choking self, you still have Kyrie and Durant to help bail you out. So if those three are free, nobody can stop them. And I think it's unfortunate because what you want is parity. What you want is Kyrie on the Nets, Durant, Knicks, Harden, Rockets. And you want these guys to face each other. So each team has at least one superstar player, not two superstars. Each team has one superstar player and maybe one second guy. But because how do you have three genuine superstars on the same team? And it's worse than the Heat because the Heat had two superstars. Chris Bosh was not a superstar. He was good, but wasn't a superstar. Kyrie, Durant, and Harden, These are three goal scoring freak superstars. So, like, if those guys don't win, it would be one of the biggest choke jobs I've ever seen, man. Do you entertain the idea that we may be living in a simulation, man? Bro, I'm open. I have no freaking idea. I have no freaking idea where the fuck we are, man. Because what the hell do we know? All we are just a bunch of human creatures who are just existing in this world, man. So it's impossible to know. It's impossible to know exactly what's happening. But you can't rule anything out, because maybe we are in a simulation, because we'll never know. Maybe this Earth, this planet, and so forth was created by this advanced race, and we are just living in this kind of program that they've created. It's like there is no way for us on our human understanding to disprove it, because if you're dealing with a race that is far beyond our understanding and our comprehension, how the heck can we even comprehend the level to the simulation that we're in? We can't. I think what people need to realize is that we probably don't know as much as we think that we do, you know? So, Hunger Games is a ripoff of what's the name of this? Battle Royale. Battle Royale was a Japanese movie that came out, I think, in the early 2000s, and was about a bunch of school kids who were put on an island and are forced to play survival with the last guy wins. So Hunger Games is a poor, starving man's Battle Royale. So if you've seen Battle Royale, it is way better than the Hunger Games, man. Hunger Games is a complete rip-off. And also, I absolutely hate Jennifer Lawrence, man. So anything that has her in it, I try to actively avoid, man. I really dislike her, man. Oh, it's nice. So Phillips is not getting the credit he deserves for Joker. Just watch it today. Masterpiece of a film. Yeah, you see, here's the thing, and it's funny. I watched it last week. Quality film. Because whenever people see the film, I think because it's Todd Phillips and is known for comedy, they're like, "Oh no, this is a ripoff of Taxi Driver." I've seen Taxi Driver. Oh, it's a ripoff of King of Comedy. I've seen Taxi Driver, and I've watched that film a lot because I love De Niro's performance in that. Yes, it borrows a bit from Taxi Driver, and I'm sure that Scorsese borrowed a lot from previous directors before. So no film is fully 100% original. There is a bit of borrowing from people, but for me, Joker and Taxi Driver are totally different films. You know, the character of Arthur Fleck is a totally different character from Travis Bickle, and I think what makes Joker better than, let's say, something like Dark Knight. Dark Knight is telling you specifically what the film's about. Say, this film's about this, blah, 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 blah. Guys are making speeches. Joker just presents things. So people can say that, oh, I feel sorry for Arthur Fleck, man. He was writing what he did. But no, he's not writing what he did. The guy is weird. Oh, no, this guy's actually good. Oh, I feel sorry for him. No, I don't really feel sorry for him. So it doesn't tell you what it's about. It just shows things to you, and it allows you to come up with your own conclusions. But I think from the direction, the look of the film is amazing, because I think he said he wanted it to make it look like New York back in the 70s. And for me, Joaquin Phoenix's performance in that film is outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Like, see, the difference is that Heath Ledger, of course, was amazing. But what helped Heath Ledger a lot was the mask. He was behind a mask. So that mask really helped him to sort of present a totally different face. And you had certain emotions when he had the mask on, which didn't really look like him. But with Joaquin Phoenix, a lot of that was just his face and just him. And the thing about that performance is it felt so real. He created like a real character. And it felt like, oh no, this feels like someone who could exist. Like the Joker in the Dark Knight isn't a real character. Like the guy he's smart, he's a genius, he's mad, he's crazy, he's a sociopath, he's a psychopath, he's a genius. So he's just not he's not realistic. But the Joaquin Phoenix character in that film, he feels so real, which is why it feels far scarier. Because like, oh no, this guy feels like a creep that you could really potentially know. So be a quality movie, man. I am watching it right now. Oh, yeah. Also, sorry, I can see. So, I'm watching it right now. I think I'm on episode 2, 3. I said again, wild. Stop. Interesting show. Interesting show. Interesting show, man. Oh yeah, Chainsaw. Really, the currently the manga series I'm on is obviously Naruto now. That's what I want, and I am waiting for One Punch Man season 3. So I'm waiting for One Punch Man season 3 to fall. So hopefully, when One Punch Man season 3 comes through, then we're gonna ride, man. Who do you think should be the next massive Marvel villain now that Thanos is gone? So I think they've talked about Galactus being the next dude, man. And I'm still unhappy with how they did Thanos. I think they could have done Thanos far better. They could have handled Thanos way far better. But the way that they handled him, I wasn't feeling it, man. I wasn't feeling it. So probably, yeah, you have to probably go with Galactus. I think he's either Galactus or Doctor Doom. And I suppose you may want to ride with Doctor Doom, who, because you want a villain who has a little bit of character about them, but they could have done so much more with Thanos. They could have done so much more with Thanos, and maybe I'm not sure that they have the rights. They probably have the rights now is to bring back Silver Surfer, because Silver Surfer is a great character. That's a great character who really wasn't done justice in that Fantastic Four 2. So we just have to just get better writers, man. But you see, I mean, look, my thing with the MCU, and I think I already said this before right now, is Endgame was Endgame. Endgame was Endgame. Like WandaVision was straight garbage. Loki, I'm not really interested. Like, who asked for a series starring Loki? Yeah, he was cool and so on and so forth. Who asked for a series dedicated to a side chick character? Like, I'll be real. Like, even Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, let's be real. The concept of doing a Falcon Winter Soldier series is stupid, but because Falcon is a classy brick. Falcon is a classy brick because he is useful, but he's a classy brick. But my thing about it is that the idea of doing it is stupid because they're like, so you're doing a series because of a joke they cracked in Civil War, but the series has been high. I'll give it to you. You shouldn't do a TV show of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You shouldn't. But it's been high. It's been high, man. No. I said again, like, because I've not actually watched Endgame in a while, but whoever wrote the story of Endgame, you have to be mad. They killed Thanos in the first 15 minutes. So that Thanos they fight at the very end, who cares about that Thanos? Like, that Thanos on the very end doesn't mean anything because that Thanos is not the guy that we've known throughout the whole years. And it just shows that these writers, are you mad? Like, Hulk has to be involved. You have freaking Hulk, who was insane in Avengers. He stole the show in Avengers, and you take this dude and you have Thanos beat the living crap out of him, and he turns into a scientist. I don't know. Look, see, Endgame. See, I still enjoyed the Endgame because it was a nice way just to wrap up the whole film, and it was a good way to end the stuff. The film in and of itself, like it was better than see Infinity War. I did not like Infinity War. I did not like that film at all. And to this day, I've only seen Infinity War once. Did not like that film at all. And I was up for it, but I did not like that film at all, man. Your ideal see, so for me, it's not about okay. For me, they should have fought that Thanos in Endgame. Like basically, it's everything is messed up. Like the way Infinity War ended was stupid. The way they presented Thanos was stupid because my issue I always have with modern writing is they try and make you understand the villain. He's the freaking villain. He's the bad guy. So why do we have an ending in Infinity War where Thanos is in like a hut or a village and he's basically smiling with like a white t-shirt and jeans and sneakers? It's like so at the end of Empire Strikes Back, we should see Darth Vader chilling out in his house with like a pina colada, some caviar, and some peanuts saying, ah, yes, the Empire, we've done a thing. I mean, what? Like, so the way they presented Thanos was stupid because they tried to make him a character that we could sort of sympathize with. Like, Thanos should have been about, I'm not here to balance anything. I just want to freaking rule. I'm here to lubricate everybody because I want to rule. And anybody who gets in my way, I will beat your ass. So his idea and ideal shouldn't be about balance, which is just stupid. It should be that no, I want to rule. I'm the bad guy. I'm a villain. I'm a megalomaniac. So it was all messed up, man. Why do you think the EU are failing in their vaccine program? I just think it's about how different countries are handling this thing, who they know, and so forth. Because I think they've said that England have vaccinated the most people. So England have just gone about doing this whole thing separately because obviously England have separate relationships and agreements with people that perhaps people in the EU do not. So I think it's a combination of getting people to get on board with the vaccine, bringing down COVID cases. Because look, see, France had to enter into lockdown again. Germany had to enter into lockdown again. Say UK has had a super strict lockdown to try to handle this whole disease and stuff. So I think it's just about handling in the COVID cases and just getting people in with the vaccine because there's still people who are like vaccine. Should I take it? Should I not take it? And so forth. But like as I said again, we have to see what the effects of these things are because this could be what saves everything. If we get the bulk of people vaccinated, oh my gosh, boom, we can now start to pop off. But now I read something that says that the vaccine works for 6 months. So what happens after the 6 months? So after those 6 months, what happens? Stuff is wild, man. Stuff is wild, man. So I said I just finished the first episode. I think I'm on episode 2. Based on how it started, I 100% did not expect that. I 100% did not expect that, man. Stuff was wild, man. Stuff was wild. So guys, look, man, let me go eat, prepare myself for tonight's hangout. And guys, I shall see you on the other one, guys. Peace out. Stay true. Stay real. And I'll see you tonight, man, from 10 p.m. We're going to talk CL. One love. Peace, 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 peace.